Hi everyone, my name is Charles Redding. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a family pastor. I have about 25 years plus experience working with children, and I have a background in counseling. So I want to talk with you for a moment about how to help your children deal with emotions in a healthy way. Currently, our country is going through an unprecedented time of dealing with the coronavirus. So we are all separated from our normal routine. We're separated from other people. So at the beginning, it's like a snow day where your kids get to be home from school. But as this goes on and they're there longer and longer, it's going to seem more and more unusual. So it would be natural for your kids to exhibit some emotional distress, for lack of a better word, where things just aren't normal. So you're going to see emotions come up that aren't regular and routine. So I want to give you some healthy ways to hopefully deal with those. So number one, certainly your kids are going to be on electronics. They're going to be on your phone. They're going to be on iPad. They're going to be playing video games. But take breaks from that. Don't let them stay and sit for extended periods of time doing that without doing some other things. So what are some other things that they could do? Well, one is play. Children need to play. That's like work for adults is play for children. They need time to do that. So make sure they do that. So some things that you could do that break up that time with perhaps schoolwork if you have an older child who's at home doing schoolwork, or things that you can do is for a play, you could go for a walk. So currently at this time, we're not quarantined where we can't be outside. So if you have a backyard, just take a 5-minute walk break, gets them off of the electronics for a little while, gets their heart rate pumping a little bit more than when they're sitting there. It helps the blood flow. It's going to help them deal with emotions better. If you've got the ability to ride a bicycle in the backyard or on the sidewalk just in front of your house, doing active things like that will help. Maybe you let your kids empty your cabinet and use cans of beans and corn to build a fort instead of just playing with Lego, because they've been playing with Lego and they've been doing their normal toys. But maybe they could take boxes of crackers and build a fort, and then when you're through, have them help you put it back in the cabinet. That takes some of their time. It's active and it's doing something out of the ordinary. Take a bed sheet, throw it over 2 chairs, and you've instantly created a reading tent where they could get away from the iPhone and get in there with some of their favorite books and spend some time with that. You could have them draw or color or paint. That is a great way to express emotions in a healthy way. Also, you could have your older children write or journal about what they're feeling, what it's like to be out of school, what it's like to miss all their games, what it's like to miss all their friends. So they could write about what's going on, and that helps them process those emotions and get it out of them in a healthy way. For preschoolers who are pre-writers, drawing is the precursor to writing. So let them draw how they feel, and that will be a safe way for them to do that. Also, it's possible that even a little bit of aggressive play with dolls or stuffed animals might be considered healthy, because we're in out of the norm times. And so if they're feeling a little aggressive and you see that coming out with toys, it's probably okay, a little bit of it. If it gets extreme, you certainly want to intervene, or if it's prolonged and goes on, you might want to seek help. But a little bit of aggressive play is normal with kids. Also, in dealing with emotions, it's okay for kids to cry. Tears are a God-created release for emotions that are inside of us. So don't stifle a God-created release of frustration and emotions. Let your kids cry. Tell them it's okay to cry. It's also okay for your kids to see you cry. They need to know that you're real with them, that you're not a perfect adult that's got everything figured out. So if they see you cry sometimes, it's okay. When they're asking you questions and you don't know, it's okay for you to say, I don't know the answer to that, but we'll see if we can find out the answer to that. Because kids are watching grown-ups to see how they deal with these new times that we're in, how they deal with problems that they're confronted with, so you can model for your kids Sometimes life is hard. Sometimes life is overwhelming. Sometimes we even cry. But then we have a good cry, we dry up our tears, and we get up with God's help and go on and face the problem that we have to face. So you can show kids how to do that by living it out in front of them. So it's okay for them to cry, and it's okay for you to cry. I'm going to give you 3 scriptures real quick that are sometimes helpful with children. Two of them actually are from the Psalms. In Psalm 73:23, the psalmist is talking to God, and he says, I am always with you, God. You hold me by my right hand. Think about when your kids are young and you're crossing the street, you reach down and get their hands, and it's comforting to them to know that there's a grown-up there who has them. Similarly, for them to be reminded that God's right there like he's holding their right hand is a comfort to them. Second verse is Psalm 56:3. When I am afraid, I will trust in you. Again, talking to God. It's a prayer. When I'm afraid, God, I will trust in you. And then Hebrews 13:6 says, the Lord is my helper, I will not be afraid. So we're all a little bit afraid right now, but we can remind ourselves, because God is our helper, we don't have to be afraid. And so we're talking ourselves through that. So those are just a few things to help your child deal with emotional things that are stirred up right now during this unusual time. And hopefully that can help anytime there's a change in your child's life in the future. Thanks a lot.